Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, share this video on your social media platforms, and please do not forget, most importantly, to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. With the introduction out the way, let's get into today's stream. I have a very good show for you guys today, very informative one. If I do say so myself, I wanted to take a moment today in the midst of all of the foolishness that's in mainstream media to take a moment to talk about and expose and explain a little bit of what's happening in this country concerning all of these illegal immigrant theft rings that are exploding across the country from state to state to state to state, right? Now, before we dive deep into that, what I want to do first is that I want to play this quick clip here as we allow some more people to come into the stream. So if you don't mind, let's take a moment to listen to this very powerful clip here as we once again wait for more people to get into the stream. So check this out.
DHS has pulled an illegal alien out of Zeeland, Michigan, convicted of exploiting a minor. This guy. This is who the protesters and the Democrats are defending. An illegal who is here, who has been convicted, I might say, of exploiting a minor. I don't know why you all aren't angry about that. I'll share with you. It is unfathomable to me. In Grand Rapids, they got a guy convicted of larceny and assault. In Ypsilanti, Jackson, in Detroit, in Holland, Pontiac, DHS found deported illegal aliens committed of homicide. Murder. These folks are monsters. And you have Democrats that are advocating for them to get released back into your communities. Why aren't you reporting, and why aren't more people outraged? I don't get it. I got to share with you. I don't get it. These folks are monsters. They're criminals. They assault young women, minors. And you know what the Democrats want to do? Let's release them into your communities. And let's celebrate the criminals. Let's villainize the ICE agents and celebrate the people who are raping your children.
Now, as opposed to stories like this going out, right, across, mainstream media, as opposed to that, what they are doing is this here, right? People like me and many others online are doing a great work of exposing everything she's talking about. But instead, what you have is mainstream media doing nonsense like this. Okay. DHS spends day and night fighting bogus nonsense stories like this. Toddler hospitalized with respiratory failure was returned to ICE detention and denied prescribed medication, lawsuit says. Now, I'm not gonna, read the response here from Homeland Security just for the sake of time. I will take a moment right now to full screen it. So if you'd like, you can pause this and read it for yourself, what they had to say. But once again, this is a daily, regular thing where DHS, ICE, they're just fighting back lies all day, every day. And one of the biggest lies that has been circulating throughout the internet via mainstream media right now is this here, right? Check this out. Many of you are familiar with this nonsense, bogus story already. We're going to unpack it in just a moment. But as you can see here, less than 14% of those arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had a violent criminal record, documents show. So once again, while nonsense like this is circulating, they're doing this all in defense of what? In defense of folks like this. Chilean bling ring suspect convicted in Hennepin County. Dozens of other agencies nationwide investigate burglaries. Twin Cities Police Department estimate more than 60 homes have been hit across a dozen metro cities by burglaries targeting high-end homes with sophisticated tools. This is in Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen. So while you have DNC lunatics all across Minnesota protesting, rioting in the name of these people here that are stealing from you, violating women and children, taking your lives, so on and so forth, while they're out here protesting these folks, essentially they're advocating for these criminals to roam free, to continue on doing what they're doing and targeting you because apparently they are non-violent criminals who should not be deported. Let's go into this very quickly, and we're going to unpack so many more stories like this. In a nice Eden Prairie neighborhood, highlighted by a walking path, the home of Sarah and James Sasher was burglarized on January 9th. They took jewelry, the Sasher said, mainly gold and watches and things like that. They really knew what they were doing. The Sashers didn't realize it at the time, but they had fallen victim to what Metro Police Department now believes is a complex burglary ring involving South American suspects that has targeted 60 plus homes across 12 Minnesota cities using sophisticated surveillance and tools like Wi-Fi and cell phone jammers. And the Sashers knew it wasn't an average smash and grab when they saw the burglars, how the burglars entered. It was not a broken window. It was a cut window, the Sashers said. They cut the window somehow, pulled it out, and set it inside, right inside the house. One of the things that people have to realize concerning these illegal immigrant theft rings is that this isn't your typical kind of dusty home invasion. Most of the times, these are highly sophisticated theft rings, highly sophisticated burglaries, right? They're not just recklessly breaking windows, entering in recklessly, not knowing whether or not the people that the home that they're breaking into, whether or not the people are home or not. That's not what's happening with these South American theft rings here. They're watching you closely. They're throwing air tags on your car. They're monitoring everywhere you go throughout the course of maybe a week, 2 weeks, even a month, to make sure that by the time they hit your home, you're not there. And when they do it quickly, get what they need, in and out, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, before you even know what happens. And by the time you get home from dinner, maybe going to the gym or even at work, you come home and you find all of your stuff is gone, right? Everything's gone. Everything's gone. And most importantly, this isn't a Minnesota thing, right? This isn't exclusive to Minnesota. It's not exclusive to Minneapolis. This is going on across the country. Check this video clip out here so I can where I want to highlight this point. Look at this.
Crime spree. 2 Chilean men charged with brazen home burglaries in Delafield and now Mequon.
Investigators think that they're part of a larger crime ring using sophisticated tactics, targeting people right here in Wisconsin. 12 News' Emily Pofall leading us off tonight in Mequon. Emily, all of these break-ins kind of have the same MO.
Yeah, that's right. And a dozen burglaries in Mequon alone. The thieves target large houses with wooded backyards. They sneak in by breaking glass. And like a victim I spoke to today describes, they often take jewelry and designer bags, but leave behind other expensive items like electronics.
It was also disturbing.
Janice McFarland's home is one of a dozen in Mequon police say was hit by a South American theft group in Wisconsin. The group follows a formula, targeting large houses with wooded backyards and always striking when nobody's home.
Within 48 hours of our leaving the country, our house is robbed. And nobody knew that we were leaving except, a couple of people that we trust.
They get in by breaking a back door or window, taking jewelry and designer bags, but leaving other valuables like electronics, putting the stolen items into pillowcases.
They had pretty well ransacked the house. It took all my jewelry boxes even took one of our pillowcases.
Do you guys know how the group knows when homes are empty?
Something that we're still trying to work on and figure out that, is there pre-surveillance that's done.
Deputies arrested 3 Chilean men who authorities say are in the country illegally late last year. Leandro Pino Uribe and Herbert Rojas Silva and Luciano Silva Cifuentes are charged with breaking into a home in Waukesha County. Rojas.
They all came in under the Biden administration. I just have to make sure to throw that in there so you guys know and understand that. All 3 of them came in under Biden. You can thank the Democrats for the smash and grab jobs and the home break-ins that are occurring across the country.
This year, Leandro Pino Uribe and Herbert Rojas Silva and Luciano Silva Cifuentes are charged with breaking into a home in Waukesha County. Rojas Silva and Silva Cifuentes are now also charged with breaking into 3 Mequon homes, including McLaughlin's. Cell data shows the group traveled back and forth between Florida, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Data also linked the group's phones to break-ins in Fox Point, De Pere, and Middleton. During the arrest, deputies found tools used to break glass and radios capable of disrupting home surveillance systems.
When Biden opened the border, this is quite literally what they came here to do. When they say I came here to work hard, yes, I came here to work hard, breaking into multiple homes across the country. Because this is a common theme that you're going to see here also when I get into other articles and other videos, is that these guys don't just stay and reside in one location. As you can see here, the 3 that were just discussed here that were let in because of Biden, who rolled out the red carpet for them, they hit up homes in Wisconsin, then they went to Minnesota and hit up homes, and then they went down to Florida and hit up homes, okay? They're on a cross-country tour hitting up homes all over the country, thanks to Democrats. And the same DNC lunatics want to keep them here, not just simply because they're illegal immigrants and we need the votes, but they're hiding behind, or I should say they're throwing up this idea that because they're non-violent offenders, Trump shouldn't be going after them. Holman shouldn't be deporting them. That's completely ludicrous. Before I carry on, I want to thank Darlene M. for becoming a channel member. Thank you so much, Darlene. I appreciate the support. All the support that I get on this channel is much needed and much appreciated. So thank you for becoming a channel member. Now, what I want to do next, though, before we unpack more of these theft rings, is that I want to pivot back over to this here, right? We have to talk about this 14% of illegal immigrants being deported only being non-violent, right? Let me go back to this article. Let me bring this down and pull this up, because this has been a big story over the last 24 hours. And this is just a deliberate misrepresentation of facts by CBS News. Less than 14% of those arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had violent criminal records, document shows. Now, most people who see this and most people who read this, they don't even recognize the portion that says violent criminal records. That part mentally gets omitted when they read something like this. And instead it reads less than 14% of those arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had criminal records, document shows. Like their mind doesn't even process the fact that it said violent. They're just assuming that they don't have criminal records at all, despite the fact that that doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But if you would just take the time, right, to do a little bit of reading versus just passing by and sharing headlines, then you'd see this, right? You just scroll down, and in the same article where they are misrepresenting the facts, the same article, they then tell you the truth. Look at this. The statistics show ICE had dramatically increased arrests since Mr. Trump's return to office. Nearly 60% of ICE arrests over the past year had criminal charges or convictions, the documents indicate. Do you see how wicked these people are? They manipulate you with the headline, leading you to believe that only 14% of those arrested had criminal records. Only 14%. But then when you read it, you see it's 60%. But then they hide behind this idea, well, 14% of them, only 14% of them had violent criminal records only. And now they're actually running with that as if that matters. This is crazy. I want to play this video clip here from Idiot Jeffries. Okay. Timu Obama, Dollar Store, Dollar General Obama. And just listen to how he's not only running with this nonsense that 14% of those arrested have violent criminal records, as if that does, excuse me, he's running with this nonsense that only less than 14% of those arrested by ICE have criminal records. He's running with this, but he's also gaslighting too. And he's going to say that essentially the rest of those that are being arrested and being targeted are American citizens. I kid you not. I kid you not. Listen to this here.
Taking place. They're targeting American citizens.
Let me take it from the top. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that.
These people, Katie, they promised that immigration enforcement was going to target violent felons who are here illegally. That's not what's taking place. They're targeting American citizens, law-abiding immigrant families, and American communities.
I want to play that one more time. That's just ludicrous. That's just what he's saying is ludicrous.
These people, Katie, they promised that immigration enforcement was going to target violent felons who are here illegally. That's not what's taking place.
That's exactly what's taking place. No one said that would only be, it would exclusively be violent offenders. No one ever said that. Trump never said that, right? He never once said that. The statement that he's making is foolishness.
They're targeting American citizens, law-abiding immigrant families, and American communities.
American citizens, law-abiding immigrant families are not being targeted and are not being bothered at all whatsoever, unless you just happen to be a DNC lunatic that's, obstructing, impeding, and not following a lawful order, and then violently resisting arrest. And then next thing you know, they're saying, say your name. Next thing you know, you turn into like Renee Good or, Alex Petty or something like that, right? But at the end of the day, that's on you. That's on you. But in terms of as far as what he's saying, this is all nonsense. And I want to take a quick moment here to play what Caroline Levitt had to say in response, not in response directly to Idiot Jeffries here, but just in general, concerning this nonsense that, oh my God, less than 14% of those arrested by Trump had violent criminal records, as if it doesn't matter that those who are nonviolent are being arrested, right? Check this out here. Look at this.
Has been clear.
Rewind it back. Let me take it just from the top.
Number one, the Trump administration has been clear from day one that any illegal alien present in this country is subject to deportation. However, the priority, of course, is going after the convicted criminals, the worst of the worst, the murderers, the pedophiles, the rapists in this country. Interestingly, in the CBS story, what the Democrat talking heads on television are not saying is this line. Nearly 60% of ICE arrestees over the past year had criminal charges or convictions. And among that population, the majority of the criminal charges or convictions are for nonviolent crimes. Oh, well, what are nonviolent crimes, you ask? This has coincided with what DHS has been saying all along, that approximately 70% of illegal aliens arrested under President Trump have pending criminal charges and or prior convictions. And these so-called nonviolent crimes, drug trafficking, distribution of child burglary, fraud, DUI, embezzlement, solicitation of a minor, and human smuggling, just to name a few.
Those are the nonviolent offenses, right? That Democrats are dismissing. they're just dismissing that stuff as if, that doesn't matter. They're dismissing it as if these aren't actually, they're dismissing them as if these are victimless crimes simply because they're nonviolent in nature. This is foolishness.
So just because a crime is not violent in nature doesn't mean that crime is victimless. And I can guarantee every single person who is out there on television right now pointing to these statistics that were taken out of context by CBS News would not want an illegal alien convicted of the distribution of child or fraud or DUI living in your community. So the Trump administration will continue our focus on deporting all illegal aliens present in our country with a focus on the worst of the worst criminals. Thank you.
And I want to thank Tricia Chipman. I appreciate you, Tricia Chipman, for becoming a channel member as well. Once again, all the support you guys show me, it helps, and I deeply appreciate it. Thank you very much, Tricia, for becoming a channel member. I appreciate you so much. But look at the point that Caroline's making. These people are out here dealing in child corn, okay? And that's just something you're supposed to dismiss. They're dealing with that, and they're participating in that, and they're violating women and children. You know what I mean by the word violate, R-A-P-E, right? They're doing all these things, and you're just supposed to look at that and go, eh. I guess, well, as far as like violating women and children are concerned, that's violent in nature. But I guess because corn is not violent in nature, you're just supposed to dismiss that and let these guys stay in the country. It's completely ludicrous, completely ludicrous. I want you to take a look at this here. I want to play this clip because clearly the only thing that matters is propaganda. Facts don't matter. Common sense doesn't matter. Just propaganda and pushing it. Look at this clip here from Katie Couric that I want to play here. This is supposed to be someone, my whole life, I'm 40 years old, and my whole life, up until like the last, maybe decade or so, Katie Couric is someone that we were told we were supposed to look up to as this like world-renowned journalist, someone to be respected, someone to be saluted, someone to be taken seriously. And as time has moved forward and progressed, we have seen more and more, and they continue to prove more and more that they are just leftist propagandists. They're not objective journalists here to put forward facts and to inform the public. No, they're here to push propaganda and nonsense. I want to play this clip here from Katie Couric when she was talking to Rand Paul about this 14% of those arrested are nonviolent. And I want you to just listen to how disingenuous she is, and then we'll take it from there. Check this clip out next.
14%.
Let me take it from the top. And action.
Less than 14% of nearly 400,000 immigrants arrested by ICE in President Trump's first year back in the White House had charges or convictions for violent criminal offenses, according to an internal Department of Homeland Security document obtained by CBS News. So isn't all this talk about ridding the country of violent criminals a massive overstatement if less than 14%, again, of the 400,000 immigrants being arrested are had charges or convictions for violent criminal offenses?
We don't have to listen to what Rand Paul had to say because I don't want to take up too much time. But for the most part, by and large, Rand Paul was on the right side of things concerning this issue here, which is, thank goodness for that, because a lot of times, too many times he's on the wrong side of things also. Rand Paul could be extremely annoying at times, but at least this time he's on, the right side of things, and he's speaking from the perspective that I am concerning the situation. But once again, I wanted to play this specifically to show you how, number one, these are not reputable journalists that should be respected. They're just propagandists. And number two, if you let Katie Couric tell it, what I'm doing here is racist, xenophobic, hateful, all the above. for highlighting, pointing out, and exposing these theft rings that are happening across the country that are nonviolent in nature. And because they're nonviolent in nature, it means that these illegal immigrants that are participating in this, who came to this country to do this, should stay here. They should never have been arrested by ICE. They should have been allowed to stay here and commit crime over and over and over and over and over again, endlessly, I guess, eventually until they commit a violent crime. Then I guess it's somewhat okay a little bit to possibly arrest them, right? Look at this here. This foolishness is what Katie Couric has absolutely no problem with permeating throughout the country like a virus. Check this clip out.
Venezuelan nationals are in custody connected to an ATM tampering scheme. Now, according to state police, the suspects used a method called jackpotting, where thieves hack into ATMs and drain them of cash. LSP says they caught the group on surveillance video at an essential credit union in Baton Rouge before tracking them in St. Martin Parish. Authorities believe the group is linked to ATM thefts across the country and has links to organizations in Venezuela, Mexico, and Spain.
What? They are international, all the way to Spain. I want to play that last part one more time, just that last kind of 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, I'll say.
At an essential credit union in Baton Rouge before tracking them in St. Martin Parish. Authorities believe the group is linked to ATM thefts across the country and has links to organizations in Venezuela, Mexico, and Spain.
They're hitting ATMs all across the country, okay? Or I should say all across the world, let alone the country. But if I let these lunatics tell it, this is nonviolent, so they shouldn't be arrested and they should be allowed to stay. And to highlight this is some sort of racism, and to deport them is xenophobic. These Democrats are lunatics, ladies and gentlemen. These people are completely insane. And I can keep going, and I will keep going. Okay, check this clip out next. I mean, we're gonna be here. I was gonna say we're gonna be here for a while, but we're not actually. I'm already 28 minutes in. We're gonna cap this off in about 5 minutes, so we're not gonna be here for a while. But I could be if I wanted to. And check this out here.
Say security cameras captured the suspect stealing 500,000 pounds of clothing right out of donation bins.
You thought you've seen everything. Could you believe people would steal from a clothing bin and that they figure out a way to make money?
Suffolk.
Did you see how? Let me full screen it so you could. He pushed him inside of the clothing bin. They're stealing clothes out of the clothing bin and selling it. Look at how crazy this is. Let me just mute this really quick. Look at this. I'd be terrified to even participate in something like this. I'd be scared that I wouldn't be able to get out. Look at this. Look. He goes inside and he pushed him. This is insanity. This is complete insanity. Yes, Darlene, it is unbelievable. This is beyond unbelievable. But no, let's not talk about this in mainstream media press. Let's make up nonsense stories that are against Trump and against ICE and any and everything coming out of the Trump administration. But this stuff, no, let's not talk about this, because this is racist and xenophobic. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's carry on. Let me play some more of this. This is ludicrous.
You thought you've seen everything. Could you believe people would steal from a clothing bin and that they figure out a way to make money?
Suffolk County officials say a disgraceful scene was played out hundreds of times over the last year. Thieves shoving their entire body into donation bins, then emptying them of clothing intended for people in need. 14 vans and storage facilities. Then hundreds of thousands of pounds of stolen clothing was sold to exporters.
The runners had specific routes and worked long hours, both overnight while everyone else was sleeping, and even sometimes brazenly during the day, including sometimes while church was in session.
16 people are charged, including juveniles, with selling more than 500,000 pounds of clothing worth $200,000.
This news report leaves out a big detail that at least some of these guys were here illegally. And shockingly, but not really, is that lax criminal laws once again played a part here.
Some of these individuals were arrested multiple times only to be released due to New York's lax bail laws, even where they are foreign nationals and could flee the United States for their home country.
The only regret, which I think the DA expressed, is that some of them, despite being foreign nationals, were eligible for bail, for actually no bail, cashless bail, which is incredible. I mean, it talks about the need to change some of our state legislation. There should be consequences when you steal from the most neediest.
And that consequence should be immediate deportation. Immediate deportation. But once again, as you heard, this is in New York. So who's protecting them? Mamdani. Mamdani is protecting these guys. Mamdani is doing everything that he can to block Tom Homan and the gang from deporting these guys. Remember, when our man Eric Adams was mayor, he put in place an agreement and made it law so that ICE could go into the prisons to remove these guys from out of New York City and out of the country. He had a deal where ICE was operating at Rikers Island and a handful of other jails and police stations, so on and so forth. Mamdani came in and reversed all of that. Not anymore. It's over with. Now it's a game of catch me if you can. Not only are we not going to give these guys bail, right? Or I should say they're going to receive, what is it called? Non-cash bail. Basically, they're going to just let them out. Not only are we just going to let them out, but now it's up to you to catch them if you can. All right. And in the midst of trying to catch them, we're going to encourage our lunatic constituents to protest, obstruct, impede, and make everything that you're trying to do that much more difficult. As Andrea said, it seems that insanity is the word of the day, everybody. It is the word of the day, Andrea, and I appreciate your support. Insanity is the word of the day. What we have been witnessing today and what we've been watching and listening to and reading is pure insanity. It's insanity, and it doesn't stop. Like I said, I can just keep doing this. I can keep going, even though I need to stop already because I got to pick my son up from school. But I'm gonna keep going just a little bit longer. Okay, look at this here. Let me transition and bring this video down and pull this article up. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. But most importantly, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. Now let me pull this video down and get into this article next. Aha. Look at this here. Brothers accused of using air tags in multi-burglary scheme targeting Asian business owners, sheriff said. In similar cases across the U.S., Wi-Fi jammers are also used in burglaries. I told you guys, these people, when they came here during the Biden administration, they came here not simply with the purpose of solely committing crime, but they're doing it in a very sophisticated way. Let's jump into this article very quickly because I have quite a few articles up that we're going to have to speed through. But check this out here. 2 Colombian nationals recently authorized to work in the United States. I'm going to read that one more time. 2 Colombian nationals recently authorized to work in the United States face burglary charges in connection with a theft operation targeting Asian businesses across multiple states. Do you see the common theme here? That it's always across multiple states. They're never just located in one state and they stay there and they do their thing. They state hop. They go from state to state to state to state to state to state doing this. Juan Sebastian Moyano, 20 years old, and his brother Juan Camilo Moyano, 18, both face burglary charges in Flagler County. They were given work visas in 2024 and came here to do burglary, which was apparently their business said Flagler County Sheriff Rick Stolley. Biden gave these guys worker permits to burglarize your homes and burglarize your businesses. And now Democrats are fighting to keep them here so that they can keep doing this. Once again, insanity, complete insanity. Jacksonville police arrested the brothers at a West Side home on a Flagler County warrant. Flagler detectives said the two men had been identified as suspects in a 2023 home burglary. They've been doing this for years. According to investigators, the men are also linked to similar burglaries in St. Johns County and Tallahassee. Okay. It doesn't end here, folks. Like I said, we got to get through these articles. This is an issue spreading like a virus across the country. Operation Van Diesel. All right. Operation Van Diesel bust fuel theft ring spanning through multiple Florida counties. Let's go through this article very quickly here. A 6-month investigation called Operation Van Diesel led to the arrest of 8 men who traveled across county lines in Florida and used minivans to steal more than 185,000 gallons of diesel that caused $650,000 in retail losses. According to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the case began in March of 2025 following a trend in fuel thefts in Hillsborough County. The investigation spanned the state from Orlando, Jacksonville, and other parts of the Sunshine State. The investigation uncovered that the suspects would use modified Dodge and Chrysler minivans that were equipped with 500-gallon tanks, pumps, and hidden compartments. These guys are sophisticated. That's the word of the day also, sophisticated. They stay sophisticated. They didn't just come here to do ragtag smash and grab jobs. They came here knowing exactly what to do and how to do it in a highly sophisticated way. But I digress. The suspects would then cut through floorboards to siphon diesel fuel from underground gas station tanks. In minutes, hundreds of gallons of fuel would be stolen. The stolen fuel was taken to trucking yards and resold at a discount rate. I'm sure some of you guys that use diesel in Florida, you wish you ran into them. I'm not mad at you. I get this is wrong, but I know you wish that you ran into them, if your car takes diesel. Because when I watched the news clip about this, I think they were selling this stuff at like $2 a gallon, something like that. Anyways, further investigations found that further investigation found that there were over 350 thefts uncovered in multiple counties, which caused approximately $650,000 in losses at T-Rack Track. What? At T-Racetrack? I guess that's a gas station in Florida, T-Racetrack, and Speedway 7-Eleven gas stations. Now, what this article doesn't tell you is this, and I'm going to play this video clip here. And as I'm playing the video clip, please make sure you hit the like button, right? But look at this here. This is what the article doesn't tell you.
36 separate incidents across 46 stores and multiple brands, totaling more than 55,000 gallons of stolen diesel, a loss of over $200,000.
Okay. The Organized Crime Task Force has taken 10 of the 11 suspects into custody. 4 have warrants for previous diesel fuel thefts. All of them are expected to be brought back to Hillsborough County to face RICO charges. Investigators are still looking for one suspect. They say 7 of the total suspects are in the country illegally.
Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, Joe Biden. And as we bring this stream to a close, because I really got to leave now, my son's going to kill me. I'm always late. Check this out here. We're going to head on over to Arizona very quickly. And I went down a little rabbit hole here in Arizona as well. But just to highlight, this is everywhere, man. It's all across the country. Scottsdale police announced arrest of South American theft group members. Okay. And once again, the important thing to highlight is that they are also accused of burglaries in California, Oregon, and Washington. This particular group here of South America, of that are a part of this South American theft ring in Arizona, they're not necessarily from Arizona. That's not where they reside per se, but that's just the place they decided to hit next after hitting California, Oregon, and Washington, going state to state to state to state to state to state. This is what they do. And when I was reading this article, they made reference to dinner time burglaries and that this was separate from the dinner time burglaries. And I said, well, what in the world are the dinner time burglaries? You know, and I'm not going to go into this article here, but essentially, in a nutshell, you know, we're talking about more illegal immigrant South American theft rings that were occurring specifically in Arizona, where, in a nutshell, they're breaking into your home while you're out for dinner. And of course, surprise, surprise, you know, as they start arresting these guys, as you can see here, investigators say the suspects are in the country illegally on expired visas. Police believe the suspects are connected to a South American theft group that has allegedly burglarized homes in several Valley cities dating back to late December. This stuff, once again, it's these South American burglary theft rings are spreading like wildfire across the country, right? Spreading like wildfire. But instead of you being informed about that by mainstream media, they're giving you propaganda, nonsense like this. Less than 14% of those arrested by ICE in Trump's first year back in office had violent criminal records. So apparently, since this wasn't a violent crime in nature, these degenerates should be set free and shouldn't be deported and shouldn't be arrested. Once again, word of the day, lunatic. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. And no, Saul, I know normally it's YouTube over family, but my son is going to kill me because I'm most likely going to be late again. I'm most likely going to be late again picking him up from school. And I'm going to get a phone call on my way to picking him up. And he's going to be saying, Dad, where are you? And he's going to get the response from me that he always gets. I'm 5 minutes away. Okay. I'm 5 minutes away. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today, man. Hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't already, please smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on social media platforms. And do not forget, most importantly, to follow me on Telegram. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until next video, peace and have a great afternoon.